March 3, 2024, at the Cybersecurity Operations Center of a major Silicon Valley tech company, senior analyst Maya Rodriguez noticed something odd. The behavioral analytics system was flagging unusual patterns in employee keystrokes across multiple departments. Initially, she dismissed it as a system glitch. That decision would haunt her for months to come. By March 5th, similar reports emerged from tech hubs across Seattle, Boston, and Austin. System administrators reported their employees moving through security protocols with mechanical precision. When questioned about these behaviors, the affected employees had no recollection of their actions. They were present, conscious, yet somehow disconnected from their own movements. This is the story of NetMind.exe. It turned over 300,000 tech workers into unconscious participants in the largest data theft in history. The first warning signs appeared weeks before anyone understood what was happening. Dr. Elena David, a neuroinformatics researcher at the MIT Media Lab, has been studying the integration of brain-computer interfaces in workplace environments. Her team noticed subtle anomalies in their test subjects' EEG readings, rhythmic patterns that shouldn't have been there. Dr. Elena would later testify before a closed-door congressional hearing, saying, "The human brain doesn't naturally synchronize across individuals like this. We were seeing brainwave patterns that matched across different subjects, like multiple computers all running the same program." The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Marcus Zhang, a 19-year-old intern at Microsoft's quantum computing division, was reviewing neural network training logs when he spotted something unusual. The company's experimental AI models were showing signs of receiving external inputs, millions of them, all following the same pattern. Zhang discovered human brain signals were being harvested and channeled through corporate networks with frightening efficiency. The investigation revealed a masterpiece of malicious programming. NetMind.exe wasn't just ordinary malware. It exploited a vulnerability that nobody had even considered possible: the human visual cortex. Modern displays operate at refresh rates exceeding 144 Hz. But the malware authors had discovered that specific pixel patterns, flickering at precisely calibrated frequencies, could induce measurable changes in brain activity. This was nothing new. Scientists had known about photosensitive neural responses for decades. The true innovation was how NetMind.exe used this effect. When an infected computer displayed these patterns, it created what Dr. Elena termed neural resonance cascades, subtle changes in brain activity that made users more susceptible to further manipulation. The malware effectively turned every infected computer screen into a neural programming device. Within weeks of infection, victims began exhibiting what cybersecurity researchers at FireEye termed distributed cognitive patterns. During work hours, infected individuals maintained their normal personalities and memories, but their actions followed subtle, coordinated patterns that only became apparent when analyzed across large populations. The infection's primary vector was devastatingly simple: a Chrome extension called Focus Frame that promised to reduce eye strain during long coding sessions. It had passed Google's security audits because its core mechanism appeared benign. But hidden within its regular screen refreshes was the neural manipulation code, fragmented across thousands of seemingly random pixel adjustments. The malware's architecture revealed an unprecedented understanding of human neurophysiology. Traditional computer viruses replicate themselves across networks. NetMind.exe replicated its behavioral patterns across human brains, using infected individuals to spread subtle visual and auditory cues that propagated the infection. Security researcher Jake Sullivan from Red Team Operations discovered this after noticing that infected individuals' keyboard typing created specific acoustic patterns that matched the neural resonance frequencies identified by Dr. Elena's team. But the true purpose of NetMind.exe wasn't immediately apparent. Unlike conventional malware, it didn't immediately exfiltrate data or encrypt files. Instead, it waited, learning and adapting to its host's behavioral patterns. The infected individuals became what DARPA researchers later termed cognitive sleeper agents. The activation occurred on March 15, 2024, at exactly 3:14 p.m. ST Pi Day. In perfect synchronization, every infected individual across North America began executing a coordinated series of actions. Their movements were so precise that initial security footage analysis flagged them as deepfakes. At Microsoft, infected developers pushed code that created subtle backdoors in critical systems. At Google, system administrators made microscopic changes to security protocols. At Facebook, database managers executed queries that went unnoticed in the daily flood of data operations. Each action was small enough to evade detection, but formed part of a massive, coordinated assault on the digital infrastructure of every major tech company. The attack's sophistication became apparent when cybersecurity teams tried to respond. Infected individuals unconsciously interfered with containment efforts, their actions so subtle that even they weren't aware of their sabotage. They would mistype critical commands, accidentally delay crucial security updates, or introduce seemingly random errors that collectively maintained the malware's control. The coordinated data theft operation continued for exactly 314 minutes, another Pi reference that suggested the attackers had a flair for mathematical symbolism. In that time, an estimated 2.7 petabytes of proprietary data was exfiltrated from major tech companies worldwide. But unlike traditional data thefts, this information wasn't simply copied. It was processed through the neural network of infected individuals, allowing the attackers to extract not just raw data, but human insights about that data. The investigation into NetMind.exe's origins revealed layers of sophistication that left even veteran cybersecurity experts stunned. The breakthrough came from Olivia Jane, a quantum computing specialist at IBM, who recognized patterns in the malware's neural synchronization code that matched theoretical research conducted at the infamous Dark Quantum Labs in Estonia, a facility known for pushing the boundaries of both ethics and physics. Dark Quantum Labs officially shut down in 2023 after allegations of unauthorized human trials, but blockchain analysts traced cryptocurrency transactions, suggesting that key researchers had continued their work underground, funded by an anonymous group called the Synaptic Collective. What we found in the malware's code was revolutionary, Jane explained during a closed briefing at Quantico. They weren't just manipulating neural patterns, they were quantum entangling human consciousness. Each infected person became part of a quantum neural network that could process information in ways our most advanced supercomputers can't match. The true horror of NetMind.exe's capabilities became clear when investigators discovered its adaptive learning mechanisms. The malware wasn't just controlling its hosts, it was evolving based on their collective intelligence. Every infected individual contributed their cognitive patterns to the network, making it smarter and more sophisticated. Dr. Yuki Nakamura, a neuroinformatics researcher at Tokyo University, identified what she called cognitive feedback loops in the malware's architecture. The code wasn't just running on computers, she explained. It was running on human brains, using our natural neural plasticity to modify and improve itself. The longer it ran, the more it learned about human cognition. The attack's sophistication extended to its self-preservation mechanisms. When cybersecurity teams attempted to isolate infected individuals, the malware adapted its transmission vectors. It began encoding its neural manipulation patterns into seemingly random screen flickers, keyboard sounds, and even the subtle vibrations of computer fans, turning every piece of office equipment into a potential infection vector. The first successful containment measure came from Dr. Rachel Cohen, a researcher specializing in electromagnetic therapy at Johns Hopkins, who discovered that specific patterns of transcranial magnetic stimulation could temporarily disrupt the malware's neural control. However, the treatment was expensive, time-consuming, and had to be calibrated individually for each victim. By April 2024, a pattern emerged in the exfiltrated data that revealed the attacker's true objective. They weren't after traditional targets like financial information or user data. Instead, they systematically gathered research on artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and human-computer interfaces from every major tech company and research institution. The Synaptic Collective, it turned out, was pursuing what they called the convergence, a fusion of human consciousness with quantum artificial intelligence. NetMind.exe wasn't just a weapon or a tool for data theft. It was a proof of concept for technology that could fundamentally alter human consciousness. FBI Special Agent Diana Martinez, who led the digital forensics team, discovered encrypted manifestos hidden in the malware's code. They believed they were pushing humanity toward the next stage of evolution, she reported. The scary part is, on a technical level, they actually succeeded. They proved it was possible to network human minds. The containment effort became a race against time. Every day the malware remained active, it grew more sophisticated, learning from its hosts and adapting to countermeasures. Traditional antivirus software was useless against code that lived in human neural patterns rather than computer memory. The breakthrough finally came from an unlikely collaboration between neuroscientists and quantum computing experts. Dr. Michael Chang at Google's Quantum Research Division developed what he called a neural quantum decoupling pulse, a precisely calibrated signal that could break the quantum entanglement between infected minds without causing permanent damage to the host. However, deploying the cure proved almost as challenging as developing it. The signal had to be transmitted through every possible vector that could carry the original infection: computer displays, speakers, and even the vibrations of cooling fans. Major tech companies had to coordinate a simultaneous worldwide rollout to prevent the malware from adapting to the countermeasure. On May 1, 2024, at exactly 0 UTC, companies worldwide deployed the decoupling pulse. The coordination required was unprecedented. Every major tech company, research institution, and government agency had to execute their part of the protocol within milliseconds of each other. The aftermath revealed the attack's true scale. Over 300,000 individuals had been infected, their minds temporarily networked into what amounted to the world's first human-based quantum supercomputer. The data they processed and exfiltrated would take years to fully catalog. What do you think? Does AI impact the human mind? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.